Welcome back to another deep dive on the explainer. Okay, I need everyone to check their calendars right now because today's date is June 22nd, 2026. Let that sink in for just a second. That means the massive, sweeping new banking deadline set for July 1st is literally days away. The clock is ticking loudly, and the way we all manage our money on our phones is about to undergo a massive shift. The deadline is drawing incredibly near, so we need to get you prepared right now.
So picture this. You just went out, treated yourself, and bought a brand new phone. Awesome, right? You boot it up, eagerly download your bank app to make a quick payment to a vendor, hit send, and bam, you are completely locked out of making large transfers. Your money is sitting right there, but you absolutely cannot move it. You'd probably think it's a glitch, but starting in just a few days on July 1st, this won't be a glitch at all. This is going to be the new reality for bank customers across the country.
The Central Bank of Nigeria is officially rolling out some very strict new rules to put much tighter controls on digital, mobile, and instant payments. Now, before we all get frustrated, we have to look at the why. In a system where millions of us rely heavily on mobile apps for literally every daily transaction, the CBN is pulling these levers to reduce fraud, strengthen customer protection, and ultimately make digital payments a whole lot safer for everyone.
Okay, let's dive into this because the very first major change you need to wrap your head around is a concept called device binding. In plain English, your mobile banking app will now only be allowed to operate on one single device at a time. That's it. The days of freely running your bank app on your personal phone, your iPad, and your work phone simultaneously without jumping through hoops, yeah, those days are over. Your banking profile is now digitally tethered to one specific piece of hardware.
Because of this new device binding rule, the very second you disrupt that connection, the system throws up a massive wall. If you simply change your phone, if you delete and reinstall the app, or, if your battery dies and you desperately try to log in from a friend's phone, the bank is now going to force a mandatory, fresh authentication process before you can do anything. It's basically a hard reset on your device's trusted status.
Now, I really want you to pay close attention to this next number. It's highly specific and, let's be totally honest, heavily restrictive. 20,000 naira. This isn't just a polite suggestion from the bank. This is a hard, unavoidable cap that is going to catch a lot of people way off guard if they aren't paying attention when the calendar flips next week.
Here is exactly how that 20,000 naira cap hits you. For the first 24 hours after your mobile banking app is activated on a new device, or even just reactivated after you reinstall it, your transactions are temporarily capped at a maximum of 20,000 naira, period. And listen to this part. This applies across the board. It doesn't matter if your account is brand new or if you've been a loyal VIP customer for 20 years. It's a blanket 24-hour probationary period.
So, the crucial point is why? Why create such a frustrating bottleneck for everyday folks who just want to spend their own money? Why freeze you at a mere 20,000 naira for a full day just because you treated yourself to a new phone? Well, to understand the logic, we have to look at exactly how modern criminals are operating right now.
This rule exists to cut off a fraudster's absolute biggest advantage: speed. You see, most fraud cases happen when criminals steal your login details, pull off a SIM swap, or physically snatch your phone and instantly try to activate the banking app on their end. By enforcing this strict 20,000 naira limit for 24 hours, the CBN is essentially stopping criminals from rapidly draining a victim's account before the victim even realizes their phone is gone. It buys you and the bank incredibly precious time.
But the new framework isn't just about putting limits on you. It actually hands customers quite a bit more control over their own risk. This brings us to the opt-out feature. If you're someone who is deeply worried about online fraud, or honestly, maybe you just don't make online transfers very often, you now have the power to completely opt out of instant payment services altogether. You can literally just tell your bank, hey, turn this feature off.
And this brilliantly shows how the policy provides an ultimate safety net for vulnerable customers. When you disable instant transfers, online payments are completely blocked until you explicitly tell the bank to turn them back on. But, and this is key, you aren't cut off from your cash. You can still confidently walk right into any physical bank branch and carry out your transactions in person, totally safe from the reach of online hackers.
So how does all of this fit into the larger picture? Well, the July 1st rule is really just the tip of the iceberg in a massive, broader push for digital security. Moving forward, banks have to step up with stricter online account verification, real-time checks against the BVN and national identity databases, multi-factor authentication for sensitive actions, and way closer monitoring of suspicious activities. It's a total ecosystem upgrade.
Whenever sweeping rules like this drop, we have to impartially weigh the trade-offs. On one side of the scale, you've got temporary inconvenience. Yes, for sure, it's going to be annoying when you upgrade your phone and hit a 24-hour roadblock. But on the other side, you have significantly stronger security. You get the massive benefit of stopping fast-moving fraudsters in their tracks and actually trusting the electronic payment system again.
However, we absolutely cannot ignore who this 24-hour restriction is going to hit the hardest. The reality is, this temporary limit could seriously disrupt traders, small business owners, and folks who rely constantly on mobile transfers to keep their businesses breathing. If you need to make an urgent payment to a supplier and you just happen to change your phone that morning, you are stuck, which is exactly why preparing right now is absolutely critical.
Which brings us to the most crucial part of this explainer. The date is drawing near. As I said, today is June 22nd. July 1st is practically staring us in the face. So how should you prepare today, right this second, before the calendar flips and these new rules lock us in?
All right, here is your essential preparation checklist. First, you must confirm that the phone number linked to your BVN and bank account is actually active and in your hand. Second, double down on the basics. Never, ever share your passwords, PINs, OTPs, or card details. Third, strictly use your personal phone for banking. Do not log in from a buddy's device or you're going to trigger those new security hoops. And finally, if your phone gets stolen, contact your bank immediately to block access. Literally, do not wait a single minute.
But what if you actually need to upgrade your phone after July 1st? Here is the exact playbook. Step 1. Plan ahead. Make any large or urgent transfers before you switch the app to the new phone. Step 2. Once you're on the new device, be ready to grind through that fresh authentication setup. Step 3. Just wait out the 24-hour probationary period where you're capped at $20,000. And Step 4. Once you have full access again, consider asking your bank to permanently adjust your personal transfer limits for that extra layer of everyday protection.
So as we wrap up this explainer and count down these final few days to July 1st, I want to leave you with this to chew on. Will these rules successfully balance convenience with stronger security for Nigerians? As digital transactions basically run our financial lives now, are these extra hoops and temporary limits a worthy price to pay for safer money? Let us know what you think. Please make sure your accounts are in order today, get prepared, and thanks for joining us on The Explainer.
Please like, share, and subscribe to Master Sense by Faraday, and turn on notifications so you don't miss new and upcoming videos. Drop a comment below and tell us what you'd like to see next.